Okay, so we've got the big Democrat debate, first one ever. Thanks for taking so long, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. But we're going to watch it. I got it taped, so I'm just going to watch it, give you my honest reactions to it. All right, let's get this shit started. Come on. Here it goes.
Together we stood up for justice and equality, and the freedom to marry is now open to us. So we're going to have to fight just as hard this election as we did in the last two. No matter who's on the ballot next November, that's the choice we're going to face, and that's why I'm still fired up, and I'm still ready to go. I'm not just asking you to work as hard for our parties you did back in 2008 or 2012.
Which was completely unnecessary. That's not what we came here to watch. Yes. Oh, I didn't even know Joe Biden was on that. He's not running. Shut the fuck up about Biden. As he starts running, shut the fuck up about him. God. Fucking. I'm watching the preview for Suffragette. That looks good. I might go see that. One of the local history. I'm from Charles City, Iowa. One of the famous American suffragettes, Carrie Chapman Catt, came from our town. But when I read from IMDb, she's not a character in the movie. And I'm still waiting for the freaking debate. Come on, shit. Fucking. That looks good. Ooh, look. I'm not watching Love the Coopers. Might see that. It's got Amanda Seyfried and Olivia Wilde. Still waiting on the fucking debate. You're not going to show a clip of the other three? Seriously, show the other fucking three. There are three other fucking guys, right? Assholes. Really? They're not. It's like they're not even pretending. You know, with the Republicans, when you saw the ads, it was every freaking name, and yeah, they made Front look more important because he was the main show, but they showed some more respect than what they're doing here. Rigged.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. And former Senator Jim Webb of Virginia.
Figures the Democrats will get a Canadian to do it. Ooh, what did she say? Oh my God. I still don't see why they didn't just get into the damn thing. Gotta drag this out.
Thank you very much, Senator Sanders. Anderson, thank you very much. I think most Americans understand that our country today faces a series of unprecedented crises. The middle class of this country for the last 40 years has been disappearing. Millions of Americans are working longer hours for lower wages, and yet almost all of the new income and wealth being created is going to the top 1%. As a result of this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, our campaign finance system is corrupt and is undermining American democracy. Millionaires and billionaires are pouring unbelievable sums of money into the political process in order to fund super PACs and to elect candidates who represent their interests, not the interests of working people. Today, the scientific community is virtually unanimous. Climate change is real for our children and our grandchildren. Today in America, we have more people in jail than any other country on earth. African American youth unemployment is 51%. Hispanic youth unemployment is 36%. It seems to me that instead of building more jails and providing more incarceration, maybe, just maybe, to take back our government from a handful of billionaires and create the vibrant democracy we know we can and should have. Thank you. Secretary Clinton.
Well, thank you, and thanks to everyone for hosting this first of the Democratic debates. I'm Hillary Clinton. I have been proud and privileged to serve as First Lady, as a senator from New York, and as Secretary of State. I'm the granddaughter of a factory worker and the grandmother of a wonderful one-year-old child. And every day I think about what we need to do to make sure that opportunity is available, not just for her, but for all of our children. I have spent a very long time, my entire adult life, looking for ways to even the odds. We will work together, and yes, finally, fathers will be able to say to their daughters, you too can grow up to be president.
Thank you all. It is time to start the debate. Are you all ready?
Yes, asshole. And he start the fucking debate.
We're going to be discussing a lot of the issues. Many of them, I want to start with you. Plenty of politicians evolve on issues, but even some Democrats believe you change your positions based on political expediency. You were against same-sex marriage, now you're for it. You defended President Obama's immigration policies, now you say they're too harsh. You supported his trade deal dozens of times. You even called it the gold standard. Now suddenly last week, you're against it. Will you say anything to get elected?
Well, actually, I've been very consistent over the course of my entire life. I have always fought for the same values and principles, but like most human beings, including those of us who run for office, I do absorb new information. I do look at what's happening in the world. Take the trade deal. I did say when I was Secretary of State 3 years ago that I hoped it would be the gold standard. It was just finally negotiated last week. And in looking at it, it didn't meet my standards. My standards for more new good jobs for Americans, for raising wages for Americans. And I want to make sure that I can look into the eyes of any middle-class American and say, this will help raise your wages, and I concluded I could not.
Secretary Clinton, with all due respect, the question is really about political expediency. Just in July, New Hampshire, you told the crowd you, quote, take a backseat to no one when it comes to progressive values. Last month in Ohio, you said you plead guilty to, quote, being kind of moderate and center. Do you change your political identity based on who you're talking to?
No, I think that, like most
No, she's always a
people
liar.
I have a range.
She's always
But
two-faced.
they are rooted in my values and my experience. And I don't take a backseat to anyone when it comes experience and progressive commitment. You know, when I left law school, my first job was with the Children's Defense Fund. And for all the years since, I have been focused on and I know how to stand my ground, and I have proved that in every position that I've had, even dealing with Republicans who never had a good word to say about me, honestly. But we found ways to work together on everything from reforming foster care and adoption to the Children's Health Insurance Program, which insures 8 million kids. So I have a long history of getting things done, rooted in the same values I've always had.
A Gallup poll says half the country would not vote a socialist in the White House. You call yourself a democratic socialist. How can any kind of socialist win a general election in the United States?
Well, we're going to win because first we're going to explain what democratic socialism is. What democratic socialism is about is saying that it's immoral and wrong that the top 1/10 of 1% in this country own almost 90%, almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. That it is wrong today in a rigged economy that 57% of all the income is going to the top 1%. That when you look around the world, you see
The Republican Attack Act against you in a general election, it writes itself. You supported the Sandinistas in Nicaragua, you honeymooned in the Soviet Union, and just this weekend you said you're not a capitalist. Doesn't that ad write itself?
Well, first of all, let's look at the facts. But the facts then are very simple. Republicans win when there is a low voter turnout, and that is what happened last November. 63% of the American people didn't vote, and 80% of young people didn't vote. We are bringing out huge turnouts.
Trust you won't change again.
Anderson, you're looking at a block of granite when it comes to the issues.
It
Whether
seems
it's
like
fiscal
pretty soft granite.
responsibility.
You've been a Republican, you've been an
And you
independent.
hear what I said on the issues. I have not changed on the issues. I was a liberal Republican, then I was an independent, and now I'm a proud Democrat, but I have not changed on the issues. And I open my record to scrutiny, whether it's on the environment, a woman's right to choose, gay marriage, fiscal responsibility, aversion to foreign entanglements, using the tools of government to help the less fortunate. Time and time again, I have never changed. You're looking at a block of granite when it comes to the issues.
So
I have
why
not
change
changed.
labels?
The party left me. There's no doubt about that. There was no room for a liberal, moderate Republican in that party. I even had a primary for my reelection in 2006. I won it, but the money poured in to defeat me around as a Republican. That's what we were up against.
Governor Malley, the concerned about Baltimore, also a Democrat, blames your zero-tolerance policies for sowing seeds of unrest. Why should Americans trust you with the country?
Oh shit, look what happened when you left.
Actually, I believe what you said was that there's a lot of policies that have led to this unrest. But Anderson, when I ran for mayor of Baltimore,
She actually, just for the record, when she was asked which policies to name too, she said zero tolerance. I mean, there's a number of old policies that we've seen the result of that stress of communities where communities don't want to step forward and say, kill the 3-year-old. It's a direct result of these failed policies.
Let's talk about this a little bit. One of the things that was not reported during that heartbreaking night of unrest in Baltimore was an arrest that actually fallen to a 38-year low in the year prior to Freddie Gray's tragic death. Anderson, when I ran for mayor of Baltimore back in 1999, it was not because our city was doing well. It was because we allowed ourselves to become the most violent, addicted, and abandoned city in America. And I ran and promised people that together we could turn that around. And we put our city on a path to reduce violence and peace in our poor neighborhoods so that people could actually walk and not have to worry about their kids or their loved ones being victims of violent crime. Look, none of this is easy. None of us has all the answers. But together as a city, we saved a lot of lives. It was about leadership, it was about principle, and it was about bringing people together. Thank you.
Senator Webb, in 2006, you called affirmative action state-sponsored racism. In 2010, you wrote an op-ed saying it discriminates against whites. Given that nearly half the Democratic Party is non-white, aren't you out of step with where the Democratic Party is now?
No, actually, I believe that I am where the Democratic Party traditionally has been. The Democratic Party, and the reason I decided to run as a Democrat, has been the party that gives people who otherwise have no voice in the corners of power a voice. And that is not determined by race. And as clarification, I have always supported affirmative action for African Americans. That's the way the program was originally designed because of their unique history in this country with slavery and the Jim Crow laws that followed.
the shooting in Oregon earlier this month. Once again, it brought the issue of guns into the national conversation. Over the last week, guns have been the most discussed political topic on Facebook by 2 to 1. Senator Sanders, you voted against the Brady bill, mandated background checks and a waiting period. You also supported allowing riders to bring guns in checked bags on Amtrak trains. For a decade, you said that holding gun manufacturers legally responsible for mass shootings is a bad idea. Now you say you're reconsidering that. Which is it? Shield the gun companies from lawsuits or not?
Well, let's begin, Anderson, by understanding that Bernie Sanders has a D-minus voting record from the NRA. Let's also understand that back in 1988, when I first ran for the United States Congress, way back then, I told the governors of the state of Vermont, and I told the people of the state of Vermont, a state which has virtually no gun control, that I supported a ban on assault weapons. And over the years, I have strongly supported instant background checks, doing away with this terrible gun shelf loophole.
For this immunity provision. I voted against it. I was in the Senate at the same time. It wasn't that complicated to me. It was pretty straightforward to me that he was going to give immunity to the only industry in America. Everybody else has to be accountable, but not the gun manufacturers. And we need to stand up and say enough of that. We're not going to let it go.
What? Like cars, you're not accountable if somebody hits. Cars are make cars. You're not accountable if someone hits someone else with your car. You're just accountable if like the airbags don't work or some shit.
And expand instant background checks, do away with this gun show loophole. Then we have to address the issue of mental health, but we have to deal with the straw man purchasing.
Congress passed gun legislation after the massacres in Aurora, in Newtown, and Charleston. How can you?
And Anderson, I also had to overcome a lot of opposition in the leadership of my own party to get this done. Look, it's fine to talk about all of these things, and I'm glad
I don't get
we're
it.
talking about
He
these
was
things.
able to get it done.
I've actually done them. We passed
Thank you.
comprehensive gun safety legislation, not by looking at the polling, but
Pres-
looking at
If President Obama could
we
convince me.
actually did. And Anderson, here tonight in our audience are two people that make this issue very, very real. Sandy and Lonnie Phillips are here from Colorado, and their daughter Jessie was one of those who lost their lives in that awful mass shooting in Aurora. Now, to try to transform their grief, they went to court, where sometimes progress does happen when you file in court, but in this case, you want to talk about a rigged game, Senator? The game was rigged. A man had sold 4,000 rounds of military ammunition to this person that killed their daughter, riddled her body with 5 bullets, and he didn't even ask where it was going, and not only did their case get thrown out of court, they were slapped with $200,000 in court fees because of the way that the NRA gets its way in our Congress, and we take a back seat. It's time to stand up and pass comprehensive gun safety legislation as a nation.
Senator Sanders, I want you to be able to respond.
So much for them all getting along. Dating Bash was full of shit. They're not gonna pick at one another. Gonna talk about the issues.
I come from a rural state, and the views on gun control in rural states are different than in urban states, whether we like it or not. Our job is to bring people together around strong, common sense gun legislation. I think there is a vast majority in this country who want to do the right thing, and I intend to lead the country in bringing our people together on that issue.
Senator, it was not about rural. Senator, it was not about rural and urban. Have you ever been to the Eastern Shore? Have you ever been to Western Maryland? We were able to pass this and still respect the hunting traditions of people who live in our rural areas. And we did it
Oh, it's
by
easy.
leading with principle, not by pandering to the NRA, and backing down to the economists. And I have been asked.
I don't think I'm pandering, but you have not been in the United States Congress. And when you help me check it out, and if you think that we can simply go forward and pass something tomorrow without bringing people together, you want to know the
Viewpoint, Senator Webb, you're reading from the NRA. You once had an A rating
Fuck that douche. Don't bring the parent in there. The goddamn thing.
The Second Amendment. But let's
He's only the vice fucking president, anyhow.
NRA wrote to everyone in our state. When the NRA wrote to members in our state and told people with hunting traditions lies about what our comprehensive gun safety legislation is, I wrote right back to them and laid out what it actually did. And that's why not only did we pass it, but the NRA didn't dare to petition it to referendum. We
See?
I want to move on to another issue which is in the headlines right now. Another
The Russians, when Medvedev was the president and not Putin, we got a nuclear arms
Well, he's
deal,
president
we got
now.
Iranian sanctions, we got an ability to bring important material and equipment to our soldiers in Afghanistan. There's no doubt that when Putin came back in and said he was going to be president, that did change the relationship. We have to stand up to his bullying, and specifically in Syria, it is important, and I applaud the administration because they are engaged in talks right now with the Russians to make it clear that they've got to be part of the solution to try to end that bloody conflict and to provide safe zones so that people are not going to have to be flooding out of Syria at the rate they are. And I think it's important, too, that the United States make it very clear to Putin that it's not acceptable for him to be in Syria, creating more chaos, bombing people on behalf of Assad. And we can't do that if we don't take more of a leadership position, which is what I'm advocating.
Senator Sanders, what would you do differently?
So let's understand, when we talk about Syria, you're talking about a quagmire in a quagmire. You're talking about groups of people trying to overthrow Assad, other groups of people fighting ISIS. You're talking about people who are fighting ISIS using their guns to overthrow Assad, and vice versa. I am the former chairman, Anderson, of the Senate Veterans Committee. And in that capacity, I learned a very powerful lesson about the cost of war. And I will do everything that I can to make sure that the United States does not get involved in another quagmire like we did in Iraq, the worst foreign policy blunder in the history of this country. We should be putting together a coalition of Arab countries who should be leading the effort. We should be supportive. But I do not support American ground troops in Syria.
On this issue of foreign policy, I want to go to Dan Bash.
Nobody does, Senator Sanders.
I want to go to Dan Bash now.
Because she voted in favor of using force in Iraq. She has since said that her vote was a mistake. Why isn't that good enough?
We just heard Senator Sanders say that it's the worst decision in American history. That's very significant. The worst decision in American history. I just heard from Senator Sanders. So as we look ahead, if you're going to make those poor judgment calls,
It's like, he said it. I agree with him.
getting back into another quagmire, if you're looking ahead and you're looking at someone that made that poor decision
He
in
did.
2002 to go into Iraq when there was no real evidence of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. I know, because I did my homework. And so that's an indication of how someone will perform in the future, and that's what's important.
Secretary Clinton is questioning your judgment.
Well, I recall very well being on a debate stage, I think about 25 times, with then Senator Obama, debating this very issue. After the election, he asked me to become Secretary of State. He valued my judgment, and I spent a lot of time with him in the Situation Room,
Smooth
going over
move.
some very difficult issues. You know, I agree completely. We don't want American troops on the ground in Syria. I never said that. What I said was we had to put together a coalition. In fact, something that I worked on before I left the State Department to do.
think
Yes,
Sanders
it should
said that.
include Arabs, people in the region. Because what I worry about is what will happen with ISIS gaining more territory, having more reach,
Yeah, I
and
get
frankly posing a threat to our friends and
why
neighbors in the
Sanders
region
calls them
and far
Arabs.
beyond.
He's
So,
like
I
old
think
as
that
shit.
what you're
I'm
talking
surprised he
about
doesn't
is
keep referring to Iraq as
President
Mesopotamia.
Obama had to make about Osama bin Laden
I think she
was
knows
his
better not to
new
call them
advisory board.
Arabs.
Putting together that coalition to impose sanctions on Iran, I think I have a lot of evidence
Thank you,
about what I would do.
Senator Sanders. Senator Sanders, I want to bring you in here. My question for you is, as a congressman, you voted against the Iraq War, you voted against the Gulf War. You're just talking about Syria, but under what circumstances would President Sanders actually use force?
Let me just respond to something the Secretary said. Afghanistan when our country is threatened or when our allies are threatened. I believe that we need coalitions to come together to address the major crises in this country. I do not support the United States getting involved in unilateral action. Work with our allies.
I'm going to bring you all in on this. Governor Malley, Secretary Clinton voted to authorize military force in Iraq, supported more troops in Afghanistan. As Secretary of State, she wanted to arm Syrian rebels and push for the bombing of Libya. Is she too quick to use military force?
Anderson, no president, no commander-in-chief should take the military option off the table, even if most of us would agree that it should be the last option. What disturbed people so much about, and I would agree with Senator Sanders on this, leading us into Iraq under false pretenses and telling us as a people that there were weapons of mass destruction here was one of the worst blunders in modern American history. But the reason why people remain angry about it is because people feel like a lot of our legislators got railroaded in a war fever and by polls. And I remember being at a dinner shortly before that invasion. People were talking and saying, well, it will take us just a couple of years to rebuild democracy. And I thought, has this world gone mad? Whenever we go, and contrary to John Quincy Adams' advice, searching the world for monsters to destroy, and when we use political might to take at the expense of democratic principle, we hurt ourselves.
Does she want to use military force too rapidly?
I believe that as president, I would not be so quick to pull for a military tool. I believe that a no-fly zone in Syria at this time, actually, Secretary, would be a mistake. You have to enforce no-fly zones. And I believe, especially with the Russian Air Force in the air, it could lead to an escalation because of an accident that we would deeply regret. I support President Obama. I think we have to play a long game, and I think ultimately, you want to talk about blunders, I think Assad's invasion of Syria will be seen as a blunder.
Governor Malley, just for the record, the campaign trail, you've been saying, well, yes, you'll be coming in next, but she
Wow.
Well, I am in the middle.
Bitchy like guy, but
Lots of things coming from all
fucking he was Secretary of the Navy.
I have to say, I was very pleased.
Seriously, shut the fuck up. Get back. Look at the web. Fucking was Undersecretary of the fucking Navy.
Enjoy his strong support in that campaign, and I consider him obviously a friend. Let me say, because there's a lot of loose talk going on here, we are already flying in Syria, just as we are flying in Iraq. The president has made a very tough decision. What I believe and why I have advocated that the no-fly zone, which of course would be in a coalition, we put on the table is because I'm trying to figure out what leverage we have to get Russia to the table. You know, diplomacy is not about getting to the perfect solution. It's about how you balance the risk. And I think we have an opportunity here, and I know that inside the administration this is being hotly debated, to get that leverage to try to get the Russians to have to deal with
Get the
everybody
fucking
in the
web.
region to begin to move
Is
towards
her like not going on?
diplomatic solution in Syria.
Senator Webb, you said as
Thank
president
you.
you would never use military force in Libya and that the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi was, in your words, inevitable. Should Secretary Clinton have seen that attack coming?
Look, let's start, I'm not trying to get in this conversation about 10 minutes. Let's start with why Russia is in Syria right now. There are three strategic failings that have allowed this to occur. The first was the invasion of Iraq, which destabilized ethnic elements in Iraq and empowered Iran. The second was the Arab Spring, which created huge vacuums in Libya and in Syria that allowed terrorist movements to move in there. And the third was the recent deal allowing Iran to move forward and eventually acquire a nuclear weapon, which sent bad signal, bad body language into the region about whether we are acquiescing in Iran becoming a stronger piece of the formula in that part of the world. Now, I say this as someone who's been 5 years in the Pentagon and who opposed the war in Iraq, whose son fought in Iraq, I fought in Vietnam. But if you want a place where we need to be in terms of our national strategy, a focus, the greatest strategic threat that we have right now is resolving our relationship with China. And we need to do this because of their aggression in the region. We need to do it because of the way they treat their own people. And I would say this, I've been waiting for 10 minutes. I will say this.
You're over your time.
Yeah, you tell that little shit off.
I would say that
You agree to these
to
debates?
the unelected, authoritarian government of China, you do not own the South China Sea. You do not have the right to conduct cyber warfare against tens of millions of American citizens. And in a Webb administration, we will do something about that.
Senator Sanders, I want you to be able to respond.
What do you think? I think that when he gets into
He
that,
doesn't seem to be the type of guy to regret a lot.
well, I think he is already regretting what he did in Crimea and what he is doing in Ukraine. I think he is really regretting the decline of his economy. And I think what he is trying to do now is save some face. But I think when Russians get killed in Syria and when he gets bogged down, I think the Russian people are going to give him a message that maybe they should come home, maybe they should start working with the United States to rectify the situation there.
Secretary Clinton, on the campaign trail, Governor Webb has said that he would never have used military force in Libya and that the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi was inevitable. Should you have seen that attack coming?
Well, let's remember what was going on. We had a murderous dictator, Gaddafi, who had American blood on his hands, as I'm sure you remember, threatening to massacre large numbers of the Libyan people. We had our closest allies in Europe burning up the phone lines, begging us to help them try to prevent what they danger and risk.
Governor O'Malley?
Anderson, I think we are learning, Anderson, I think there's lessons to be learned from Benghazi. And those lessons are that we need to do a much better job as a nation of having human intelligence on the ground so that we know who the emerging next generation leaders are that are coming up to replace a dictator when his time on this planet ends. And I believe that's what Chris Stevens was trying to do. But he did not have the tools. We have failed as a country to invest in a human intelligence that would allow us to make not only better decisions in Libya, but better decisions in Syria today. And it's a huge national security failing.
Senator Webb, I want you to be able to
Thank you.
respond.
Anderson,
This was not about Benghazi per se. To me, it is the inevitability of something like Benghazi occurring in the way that we intervened in Libya. We had no treaties at risk. We had no Americans at risk. There was no threat of attack or imminent attack. There is plenty of time for a president to come to the Congress and request authority to use military force in that situation. I called for it on the Senate floor again and again. I called for it in Senate hearings. It is not a wise thing to do, and if people think it was a wise thing to do, try to get to the Tripoli airport today. You can't do it.
Secretary Webb, you served in Vietnam. You're a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. You served as a Marine in Vietnam. You're a decorated war hero. You eventually became Secretary of the Navy. During the Vietnam War, the man standing next to you, Senator Sanders, applied for status as a conscientious objector. Given his history, can he serve as a credible commander-in-chief?
Not everybody makes their decisions when the time there is conscription, and as long as they go through the legal process that our country requires, I respect that, and it would be for the voters to decide, whether Senator Sanders or anyone else should be present. I will say this, coming from the position that I've come from, a military family, with my brother a Marine, my son was a Marine in Iraq, I served as a Marine, spending 5 years in the Pentagon. I am very comfortable that I am the most qualified person standing up here today to be your commander-in-chief.
Senator Sanders, tell an American soldier who's watching right now tonight in Afghanistan why you can be commander-in-chief, given that you applied for conscientious objector status.
Let me applaud my good friend Tim Webb for his service to this country in so many ways. Jim and I also, a few years later, passing under my leadership the most significant veterans health care legislation in modern history of this country. When I was a young man, I'm not a young man today. When I was a young man, I strongly opposed the war in Vietnam. Not the brave men like Jim before in that war, but the policy which got us involved in that war. That was my view. I am not a pacifist, Anderson. I supported the war in Afghanistan. I supported President Clinton's effort to deal with ethnic cleansing in Kosovo. I support airstrikes in Syria, what the president is trying to do. Yes, I happen to believe, from the bottom of my heart, that war should be the last resort, that we have got to exercise our diplomacy
region when the Iran nuclear deal was concluded was that we are accepting Iran's greater position in this very important balance of power among our greatest ally, Israel, and the Sunnis represented by the Saudi regime and Iran. It's a position of weakness, and I think it encouraged the acts that we've seen in the past several weeks.
30 seconds for each of Governor Chafee. What is the greatest national security threat to the United States?
It's certainly the chaos in the Middle East, there's no doubt about it.
Okay.
It all started with the Iraq invasion.
Governor O'Malley?
I believe that nuclear Iran remains the biggest threat along with the spread of ISIL. Climate change, of course, makes cascading threats even worse.
Secretary Clinton, greatest national security threat.
I think it has to be continued threat from the spread of nuclear weapons, nuclear material that can fall into the wrong hands. I know the terrorists are constantly seeking it, and that's why we have to stay vigilant, but also united around the world to prevent that.
Senator Sanders, greatest
The
national security
scientific community is telling us if we do not address the global crisis of climate change, transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to sustainable energy, the planet that we're going to be leaving our kids and our grandchildren may well not be habitable. That is a major question.
Senator Webb?
Our greatest long-term strategic challenge is our relation with China. Our greatest day-to-day threat is cyber warfare against this country. Our greatest military operational threat is resolving these situations in the Middle East.
All right, we're going to take a short break. Do these candidates see eye to eye on an issue that's driving a big wedge between Republicans and
Talking about what people talk to me about, like how we're going to make college affordable, how we're going to pay down student debt, how we're going to get health care for everybody,
And that is that the American people are sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails. And let me say something about the media as well. I go around the country, talk to a whole lot of people. Middle class in this country is collapsing. We have 27 million people living in poverty. We have massive wealth and income inequality. Our trade policies have cost us millions of decent jobs. The American people want to know whether we're going to have a democracy or an oligarchy as a result of Citizens United. Enough of the emails. Let's talk about the real issues facing America.
Because it was a conference report. But let me just say about income inequality. We've had a lot of talk in the last few minutes, hours, tens of minutes, but no one's saying how we're going to fix it. And it all started with the Bush tax cuts that favored the wealthy. So let's go back to the
Okay, so I guess that's it. I didn't take all of it. Missed Hillary's closing speech. Oh no! And on a separate video on my thoughts about the debate coming up.